We are mid-afternoon here at Pocket Gamer Connects 2019 in London. I'm joined by Janne Mustonen,
Yes.
Virtual Frontiers Oi. What is it that you guys do for anyone who isn't familiar with Virtual Frontiers?
So Virtual Frontiers is a gamification company. We're actually based in Kajaani, Finland. And we have been offering consulting and gamification services for more or less traditional industries so far.
So when you say gamification, I mean, people are familiar with the term and the idea of making something that's functional be fun.
Yeah.
So what are you using it for? Are you talking about like perhaps companies like which are making apps that you want to make it interesting and engaging? Who have you been working with?
Well, so far, we, for example, I have a client in Denmark, and with them we are creating this gamified cycling platform for recreational and professional users. And it's called Where2Go. You can actually check that out. Where we create, for example, the virtual environments, the avatars. The users of the platform can customize their avatar or their bike and stuff like that.
So rather than it just being a standard, how many miles have you cycled or tracking, you're trying to make it fun. I've seen some of this stuff implemented, for example, with running apps, where they turn it into like you're being chased by zombies or something like that. That's a kind of familiar one. So how much of an emerging market is this idea of taking things that are functional and introducing play into it? And is this something you've been doing? How long has the company been around for?
We actually started in December 2016, so we have been around a bit more than 2 years. We're still quite fresh, but yeah.
So what are the biggest challenges in terms of working with the companies? Because presumably they say, we've got an idea, we're releasing an app or we're doing something online, can you make it fun, please? And then do you have to just, come up with the entire idea, or do people approach you with like, we want it to be like this?
I think the best solutions or the best outcomes comes from a good dialogue with the client. That what are their goals, what are the challenges currently in their platform or in their product or in the service that they would like to gamify, and then really diving into that, doing an in-depth analysis of that what could be a good solution. Is it like data visualization, is it simulation, or is it then some sort of a gamification layer like you were talking about that makes it somehow fun? So the spectrum of tools is pretty wide, and I think the challenging thing is nailing down the scope and the ultimate solution then there in the end, right? Because many clients might have a really a large idea in their head that what should be the solution, and then you need to
tear it down.
Yes.
Manage expectations, I think they call it, don't they?
That's the politically correct way of saying it, yes.
Yeah. So when you're faced with developers or you're faced with people who just have an idea, you say that the dialogue is the big strength of it, but how much of the weight does actually fall on you guys? And have you ever had an instance where they've approached you with an idea, we want to make this fun, and you've had to kind of go, I don't think we can? Has there ever been like, we just can't find a way to make this a game?
A game, yeah. That's a good one.
I'm not asking you to admit defeat or anything, but
no.
I'm just interested to see, is there a limit to what you can do with this kind of stuff?
Of course, and I mean there always needs to be a balance between the gamified elements and the utility component there in the end, so that the gamification doesn't become detrimental to the utility, to the function, exactly. So finding that balance is I think on our corner. And then there are times when you think about that. Should we really do this? Is this good thing to do in the first place? So yeah, definitely.
What's something you've worked on where you think you really nailed it? What was a really good success for you guys in terms of a project where you thought, yes, the outcome really met the expectation?
Well, actually, the cycling platform I mentioned you about, I think we have done a really good job in there in creating a really visual and pleasing experience for the cyclists and for exercising in general, because it's usually pretty heavy and pretty hard on you as a person to do exercise. So I think that has been a pretty good success for us.
And then once you've created the app, once you've created this gamified app version, do you guys deal with things like user acquisition and advertising networks, or is that something you then hand off to somebody else?
It is usually something we hand off, like you said. Of course, it totally depends on the on the nature of the nature that we are dealing with the client. That what kind of a contract do we have? That are we supposed to take care of that? But usually we hand it off to someone else. Yes.
And how big's the team? You say you've been around for like a couple of years at this point. Is it large?
Yeah, we are now at 14 people, me included. So yeah, it's been growing pretty steadily. We started out with 6 people, and then we have now grown to 14. So yeah, it's been very good.
And coming to events like this, what's the benefit from you and your company? I've been asking everybody because it's always interesting. Everyone has a slightly different answer of what they want to do. Some people are courting existing clients and keeping them happy. Some people are looking for new business. What are you here for?
I think for us it's just to meet our existing development partners, discovering new ones, just general networking. Mm-hmm. And it's also interesting to see where the mobile games industry is going, because that's also close to our hearts. And of course, maybe we'll find a new client or two in here, who knows.
A new app to create. Well, best of luck with what you do find. If people are watching and they want to get in touch with you and seek out your services, where do they go?
That's our website, www.virtualfrontiers.com.
Well, thank you for talking to us today. Best of luck with the show.
Thank you very much.